The book is called The Sixth Pillar. The Sixth Pillar refers to the 6 pillars of Islam. The vast majority of Muslims believe there are only 5 pillars, but the more radical extremists believe the 6th pillar. The 6th pillar actually refers to jihad. It starts in January 1991, just prior to the start of the First Gulf War, and we follow an SAS troop who have been posted into southern Iraq, a completely dangerous place, on a search and destroy mission, looking for Scud missile launchers. They come across a village in southern Iraq, which seems deserted, but of course all is not what it seems, and they do find some Scud missile launchers. Of course we have the firefight, and in this melee we have buildings destroyed. They make their escape, but in the dust and rubble of what's left, the Republican Guard find a 5-year-old boy completely traumatized, covered in dust, and it's his story. At the same time, I'm interested in the leader of the SAS squad, and the other part of the story is what happens to him when he leaves the army and how he copes with the trauma. I'm particularly interested in the conditioning of people, manipulation, if you like, the psychology of how people manipulate people into behaviours, and for the 6th pillar, quite clearly, jihad is probably about as extreme as you can get. I mean, my first book, Flying with Kites, we deal with a Kosovan refugee escaping from Kosovo barely with a life, and how she copes with pretty well losing everything. In the 6th pillar, we have a situation where we have the radicalisation of a young lad, and it doesn't get more extreme than that. There's a lot in the book based on fact. Clearly some of the historical dates and events are accurate and have been researched thoroughly. But I did have an opportunity of actually doing some work for a company which involved going onto a gas rig. And it was an amazing experience. One of the things I had to do was the dreaded survival course. They actually say that if you survive, you pass. But in my book, I was able to bring the experiences of both the SAS soldier and Tariq, of how they coped with the survival course. Tariq couldn't even swim, so that was a big issue. But then it all works because it ends in the dramatic climax on board the gas rig, which is where I wanted to end with. I use the internet a great deal, and it's surprising the background information, quite detailed information, particularly around Basra and what was happening in between the wars and after the Second Gulf War. But I was fortunate in having a contact who was in the Middle East at that time in special services, and was able to give me a lot of background information, which added, I think, a richness, because it is completely authentic. One of the things I learned, part of my research, was how to build a bomb, and I include details in the book. The fact that they used acetone peroxide, which is basically the same bleach that they use in hairdressers. So understanding about how this worked, and they mixed it of course with other chemicals and forms crystals. These crystals are incredibly dangerous. They're known as the mother of Satan, for their ability to be, shall we say, volatile. So that was a lot of detail and I cover that in the book as well, and the potential issues around handling that. Well, I think the people who are really going to enjoy this book are people who like action thrillers, spooks, Homeland, Strike Back, that kind of thing. Books by Andy McNabb and Chris Ryan. Anyone who likes that genre will enjoy it. But I think also people who are interested in human behaviour, and particularly things like manipulation, conditioning, and the psychology of all that. So a wide range of people, I think, will really enjoy this book.